iron in the soul.
What's up, YouTube? This is Iron and Soul. That's today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at @KingJabez. Also, you can book a consultation on my website at theironandsoul.com, as well as my book, Becoming Strong as Iron. It will be greatly appreciated. Well, let's do some work. Let's talk about today. By the way, this is day 25 in my 30-day series. I made a commitment several weeks ago to upload every single day for a 30-day period of time. And so today we are on day 25, and we'll complete 30 days on this Saturday, February 25th. Well, let's do some work. Today's video is entitled, Why the Most High Isolates Chosen Ones. This is a very important message. I received a couple of emails from a number of guys who follow me with this question in mind. Why they feel isolated? Why are they being kind of like sometimes temporarily held back? And I trust that today's video will give you some insight, some hope, some direction and guidance in the midst of that transitional season when the Most High is hiding you. I have so many thoughts on this topic, and I'm kind of struggling to know where to begin. And so I'm going to just start talking and just share from my heart. This will not be formal. This will just be me speaking from years of experience with this and understanding how there was a season in my life when God had to hide me. And I'm going through that even now to a degree. So this is something I know from experience. God's hiding is his way of protecting you. Let me say that first of all. So it's a form of protection. I will say in addition to that, it is also for preparation. So when the Most High is hiding you, these are just two thoughts. I got about 15, 20 of them today. But the first two thoughts is for the purpose of protection as well as preparation. Let's talk about first protection. The Most High will hide a chosen man, a chosen woman, because you are precious to him. Okay? Chosen people are called that for a reason. There are only a few people who will ever follow God at a high level, right? And make a decision to honor him and to be a person in this earth that chooses to be righteous versus wicked. The reality is most people, consciously or unconsciously, are on the path of the wicked. That's the reality of human nature, whether you like it or not. And this is also why fake people are celebrated. If you've ever been at a job or a company or organization or even in a family, and you think to yourself, man, why does this fake person keep going forward? I knew a guy I worked with for years, and I knew this man's true character just from seeing him in private and working with him for years. And he always publicly gave this good guy image that most people bought into and thought, man, he was just such a nice guy, such a good person. But this guy was a gossiper. He was a liar. He was at times, microaggressive. And so I've seen firsthand that we live in a world where fake people are often celebrated. They are often promoted. They are liked by people. And so that tells me that they are celebrated and liked because a lot of people are fake. That's simple. Birds of a feather flock together. So people who have that similar character, that similar energy, that similar mentality and way of life, philosophy, they tend to get along. And so there's a lot of fake stuff in this world. The real are the minority. Mark my word. I want you to understand that. This is Iron talking to you. This is an OG talk. The real, that is the minority. Most people are not real. They're going to be fake. They're going to be jealous. They're going to hate. They're going to undermine. That's just the reality of human nature. So that being said, the Most High has to protect you from that energy, right? He doesn't want you to become that. He needs somebody to be righteous. He needs somebody to have some sense. He needs somebody to have moral fiber, to have a standard of excellence. So he has to hide you to protect you from that type of character so that you don't become like that person. But I would say in addition to that, he has to hide you because people who are not chosen don't like chosen people. So people will try to hurt you. When you're making the decision to stand up for truth and to be righteous, people will try to kill you. Okay, let's talk flat out. People will try to sabotage you. They will try to create this character assassination against your name and your reputation and who you are. They will try to undermine. They will try to destroy you. You understand? Wicked people do not like righteous people. I repeat, Wicked people do not like righteous people. Wicked people don't like you. And so, man, they'll hurt you. They'll try to, break your family up. They'll try to get you fired on the job. That's why you got to be careful at work. You got to be careful with even your own family. Because we live in a world, right? This is the sad reality where people only care about money. In spite of what they may say and how they may act. And I have seen this firsthand. This is what I know from experience with my own blood, as well as so-called church people. Okay, I can tell you all about family, and I can tell you all about religious people. And what I have seen is that in many cases, not all, you always have your few chosen ones, of course, but in most cases, most religious people and most of your family will not care much about you unless you have that almighty dollar. No matter what they say, they'll say, I love you and I'm with you. That is bull. I can tell you from experience, most people will do anything for money, and most people only respect people who have money. That's simple. So if you are a man, listen to me. If you want to do yourself a service, I'm going to tell you what I know from experience. Worry about yourself. Because when you are down and out, most people will not have you back. When you have a need, you will not be supported. You will be mocked. You will be looked down upon. You will be scoffed at. So if you want to help yourself as a man, listen to my content. Do yourself a favor and make it your ambition. Make it your resolve. Make it your process or progress over the next 1 to 4 years, giving you a vision here, right? Helping you create vision. You make it your goal over the next 1 to 4 years to level yourself up financially. Bottom line, okay? And you're going to do that by looking apart. Let me talk to you, give you some free game. You're going to do that by looking apart. So take care of your image. That means to, wash your face twice a day. Make it basic. Brush your teeth. Take care of your teeth. Go to the dentist. Get you a good barber. If you have long hair, take care of your hair. Oil it, braid it, whatever. If you have dreadlocks, take care of those locks. So take care of your appearance, okay? Be conscious of the way you dress. Doesn't have to be the most expensive clothes in the world, but as long as they are clean and they fit you, okay? Make a decision to have some nice shoes. Make a decision to get in shape. You don't have to be C.T. Fletcher, okay? I'm not saying you got to be the next bodybuilder. If that's what you want to be, great. I'm not saying all that. You ain't got to lift 500 pounds. But get into the gym, get in shape. Be able to take care of yourself physically. That is all a part of you looking attractive. And in doing that, that will position you to get opportunities. That's another reality of life. People judge you by how you look. So you come into a facility with your back straight and your eyes are white because you're doing the right thing. You're living right. You hold on to your seat. Okay, that's a part of this. You're holding on to your seat as a man. Your eyes are white. Your back is straight. You can clearly articulate your thoughts. You give this vibe of being earnest and honest. That goes a long way. I'm telling you what I know. So that first impression could be a big part of you making the decision to take care of yourself, right? This is all doing an isolation process. Doing an isolation process, focus on self, okay? During this time of trying to level up, gain some skills. Figure out what you want to do, whether that be business or trade or religious work or creative work such as music or art or dancing or modeling. You need to figure out what you want to do. And when you figure out what that is, make it your goal to get better at that. Get skills in that area. Read books about that. Learn. Get you a mentor. Do whatever it takes to get yourself to the next level in terms of your work and your financial stability. So while you're being isolated, okay, this is why God's isolating you. God's isolating you to prepare you. That's the second part of the piece so far, right? We talk about protection as well as preparation. So he's trying to protect you from a lot of evil energy, right, on one hand. And the flip side of the coin is also trying to prepare you. Get yourself together. So this is a season to focus on self. You don't care about no girl, right? Right now, I'm telling you, women are not going nowhere. Listen to me. Listen to an OG. You take care of yourself, you get on your business, the women will come. Don't even worry about that. Worry about yourself right now. You say, right now, they're ignoring me, they treat me like I'm nobody. Let that fuel you. Okay, let that fuel you. Let that motivate you. Let that put a bad taste in your mouth that you remove through blood, sweat, and tears. Let all that energy push you. Okay, when you get them cold looks, say to yourself, okay, I needed that. Okay, that's going to push me to the next level. I'm going to take that shade. I'm going to take that closed door. I'm going to take that rejection. I'm going to take all that shade, and I'm going to turn those limits to lemonade. This is a decision that every young man got to make at some point. So during this season of isolation, when you're not being as respected as you want to be, when you're not as noticeable as you want to be, when you're not as achieved as you want to be, when you see your siblings, others get more respect than you, this is your season to just lock in and worry about yourself. Focus, stay pure. You ain't got no time to be on no websites looking at corn. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to stay on your bumper. Get off them corn sites. Hold on to your seat. Discipline yourself. Let me talk to you. This is what you're supposed to do during the season of isolation. I know you don't want to hear it. You say, give me a break. No, ain't no breaks. Ain't no more breaks. We 3 years deep. No, ain't no more breaks. Ain't no more breaks. Tighten up. Get on your game. Focus on yourself. Stay disciplined sexually. Continue to read. Wake up early. I'm trying to help you out. This is what you do during the season of isolation. You focus on self. Say that with me. Focus on yourself. Stop worrying about people's opinion. It don't matter what they think about you. Who are they? They ain't God. Bottom line, they are not God. You don't care what they think. That's the way you got to think. And that's something my grandfather taught me years ago. Grandson, you don't care what people think. You don't worry about them. You go into a room like your strongest 10 men. This is what my grandfather taught me. You don't worry about people thinking about you. That's their business. If folks don't want to talk, don't let them don't talk. Walk right by them. Okay. What was he doing? He was getting me mentally tough for this world. He understands, as an older man in his 50s at that time, he knew what this world was all about. Okay. He knew all about people. Being a grandfather, having 6 kids, grandkids, I'm a grown grandson, he has seen it all. So as an older man, he was telling me, you cannot worry about people. Worry about yourself, son. You understand me? So I'm giving you that same advice my grandfather gave me, my man. Worry about self, my boy. You don't care what people think about you. That's their opinion. You don't care about no female thing about you. And I'll tell you one thing about women, never take them serious in that. Because a woman's opinion will change about you just like that. As soon as you level up, as soon as you get that bag, as soon as you get that nice barb, I'm going to talk to you. As soon as you see with some nice clothes on, some chain around your neck, a nice car, she will switch gears like that. And she will go from being bitter to sweet. I have seen that firsthand. So don't even worry about that. You get on your own game, and while you're isolated and focus on self, you prepare yourself, the woman will come. That ain't nothing to worry about. I can tell you from experience, that's nothing to worry about. I would say, to add to this, God is isolating you because he wants to get you ready. He has a big plan for you. And he doesn't want to put you on this big platform to embarrass you. Nothing worse than being given honor in a platform and you're not ready for it yet. That's embarrassing. So the Most High understands people better than we do. Obviously, he sees the whole world. Listen to me. Peep game. God sees every piece on the chessboard. He knows how people think better than you do, better than I do. Are you drawing what I'm saying? He understands how they tick, their perspective about people. So God knows that he's not going to put you in a position to be shamed. Are you listening? He's not going to put you in a position to be embarrassed. He's not going to put you around people who are going to despise everything about you. You understand? So he is hiding you to protect you as well, right? But also to prepare it to get you ready for the next stage. He doesn't want to elevate you before you're ready. And so this is why I would often, with the prophets and kings and patriarchs, great men, right? Prophets, kings, patriarchs. Prophets, kings like David were hidden for a season. David had some hidden years when he lived in a cave before he became the king. And the purpose of David's hidden years was to prepare David, right? To get him ready to be a king. You can't just wake up one day and say, I'm a king. He had to get battle hardened. You understand? Those 5, 6, 7 years living in a cave, struggling, having men around him who were also struggling, dealing with all of that, dealing with the issues with his women, dealing with the issues with his kid. He had to grow through all of that because as a king, he would have to deal with all of that on a bigger scale. You draw? As a king, he would have to always deal with his men. As a king, he would have to always deal with women. And as a king, he had to always deal with his children. So God had to give him about a 7 to 10 year process of dealing with that, growing, maturing, fighting battles, you understand, warring, you dig, before he was able to take him to that next level as king. So David himself went through a season when he was being pushed aside. You understand? David was kicked out of the palace. He was basically being viewed by people as a fugitive. Did you understand that? Did you know that? David was being seen as a bad guy for years. And this is how wicked the world is. The bad guys will be seen as good guys, and the good guys will be seen as bad guys. That's how backwards things are. People will take a righteous man and tear him apart, and they will take a fool and honor him like he's John the Baptist, because people often are non-discerning. They don't have good discernment, good judgment of character, and we honor fools, we honor bad people, and we often dishonor good people. So here was Saul, who was a bad king, was being honored and respected, and David was an humble man, God's man. He was being treated like a nobody. Are you hearing me? David went through a season, not no 4 or 5 months, 5 to 7 years of being treated like a nobody, being treated like a peasant, being disrespected, disregarded, talked to crazy, going through wars, battles with his family, battle with his finances, battle with his men. Are you drawn? So he went through a season of being isolated, and all of that experience made him ready to be the next king of Israel. So even the great King David himself went through about 5 to 7 years of being treated like garbage. And that's something most men will go through. I'm trying to prepare you guys. Most of you are going to go through a season, whether you like it or not, of being treated poorly. I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm preparing you. Right? You're going to be isolated. You're going to have a season. I can't give you a time frame. Let me just throw something out there for you. Let's just say roughly 1 to 5 years of being looked over, not receiving the honor you deserve, not receiving the respect you deserve. And while you're going through that, the struggle with that is you're going to see other men receive an honor and respect that you think you deserve. And it's not that you're wrong in that. It's just not your time yet. Right? There's a time and season for everything. You draw? Think about a seed being planted. If you are a seed, right, that is planted in the ground, before that seed grows, what happens? It has to be buried. Huh? It has to be what? Talk to me. Hidden. Not recognized. Do people celebrate seeds? No, they don't. Talk to me. Talk back to me. Do people honor seeds? No. Do people want to be like seeds? No. What do people respect? Fruit. They respect when that seed becomes an apple. Huh? When that seed becomes an orange. That's what people honor. They like to see what? The results. So if you are in your seed stage, let me talk to you. Let your big brother talk to you. If you are in your seed stage, don't expect honor. Don't expect to be held in high esteem. Just expect to go through struggle for a while. Expect challenges for a while. And as you go through that process, you can be used by God, and you can truly grow and develop your character and get yourself to the next level. So as you go through your seed season, remain humble, keep your head up. Ain't that what Tupac said? Keep your head up. I know you're fed up, but keep your head up. I wish I could bump that pop for you real quick. Matter of fact, you should play a song when you done listen to this message today. You hear me? But keep your head up, man. Stay strong. Don't be feeling sorry for yourself. Don't let people make you feel some type of way. Don't be doubting who you are. You are who you are. Let me talk to you. Huh? You are who God said you are. You are as strong as you think you are. You are as smart as you think you are. You are as good as you think you are. It's just not your time yet, my man. And while you go through this process, you got to stay strong mentally. Let me tell you what I know. A lot of men with potential, they fail because they cannot properly handle. Listen to me. Listen to your big brother. Listen to me. They cannot properly handle a season of isolation, a season of testing, a period of time where they're not being recognized, where they're not being honored, when they're not being invited. Let me talk to you. When they're not on the stage like everybody else, when they're not being invited to the important meetings or the important events, when their beautiful woman's not choosing them, giving them choosing signals. Every man, listen to me, has to go through that season. And your ability to go through that properly is what will distinguish you from those who can't. So if you truly are a chosen one by God, then prepare yourself for a season of isolation. Let's talk a little bit about some chosen ones who were isolated for a period of time. Ready for this? Nelson Mandela spent many years in prison before he was elevated to his position of power. He served a total of 27 years. That's older than some of you guys been on this earth. 27 years, 27 calendars in prison as a political prisoner. And in that season of isolation, of course, he was learning, he was reading, he was reflecting, he was growing, of course, physically, spiritually, mentally. And when he was released, he was eventually made the president or the leader of South Africa for about 4 or 5 years. So here was a chosen one who went through a period of trial, pain, isolation, struggle, not really being crowned the king that he truly was. And his ability to deal with that with strength and with supernatural power eventually was honored, and he was seen and respected and honored as the top man in South Africa as a president for about 4 or 5 years. That's a great story. Let's talk about most businessmen. Most businessmen fail at business several times before they are truly successful, before they make the money they want to make. I think about Macy's, the guy that started Macy's. He failed a lot, lost a lot of money, and his character was so strong, he was able to keep that confidence in himself. You follow me? Same thing with Abraham Lincoln. He failed, I forget the exact number, many times at public office before he was eventually elected to be the president of the United States. So we look at history of men like presidents and like Lincoln, businessmen like Macy's, and these men were able to properly deal with that season of isolation. And that's because there are times when people just simply refuse to honor what's on you. You got to understand that. I'm giving you some revelation. I want you to really get this because I just gave you a deep revelation in this whole process of isolation. The reason there are times we go through a season of isolation is because there are people who are just evil. Let me talk to you. Jealous. Let me talk to you. Let your big brother talk to you. I'm giving you some good knowledge. Hateful, spiteful, evil. They just simply refuse to honor what God has put on you. So they will dishonor you. They will disrespect. They will undermine. They will try to imply the superiority over you. They will try to imply superior intelligence or education. They will minimize your education. They will minimize your gifts. We live in a world where there are people who are called diminishers. They will consistently diminish and try their best to undermine and make it seem as if you are not as important, you are not as smart, you are not as special as you truly are. And so when you're going through that, it will almost certainly lead to a period of time of isolation. And that's because wicked people, and to take it a bit deeper, wicked spirits, evil spirits, unclean spirits, demons, to make it plain, refuse to let you go. And so you got to fight them for a while. And this is why if you look at my content, I have a video, which is a very important one, all of them are, by the way, that talks about the long spiritual war. You remember that talk? Okay, this is what this kind of ties right into this. Go check that video out if you haven't heard that video. There's a long spiritual war that you go through. There was a war for 2 years between the house of Saul and the house of David before David became the king. Why is that? Because Saul's people refused to honor what happened to David. And so there are wicked men and wicked women and wicked spirits that don't want to honor you. And their goal is to try to intimidate you, to dominate, and to manipulate, which is a threefold process of witchcraft. You want to hear it again? Domination, intimidation, and manipulation. Threefold process of witchcraft. So when people refuse to honor what's on you, you have to fight. That's why it's called spiritual war. You got to stand your ground. You have to know your true power. You have to remain confident in yourself. You have to stay consistent with all of your disciplines. Waking up early in the morning, meditation, prayer, reading, hard work, working out, eating a proper diet, taking care of your teeth, taking care of your skin, taking care of your hair. You get what I'm going with this. You got to stay in your game while people not honor you, while you're being disrespected, while you're being overlooked, because there's a war going on with you. Some of you guys right now listen to this talk, let me talk to you, man. You are in a war for your life. You are in a fight. And this is serious. And this is why some guys, let's go a little deeper, some guys get very depressed during this time. Let me talk to you. During this season, this is a temptation for some guys to start drinking. Let me talk to you. This is Big Brother Iron. I know, I'm not a dummy. Okay? Guys start blowing back blunts every day, smoking all day. I'm going to just smoke all day. Right? I'm going to get smoked out. This is when guys start chasing women. This is when guys start scrolling on their phone, looking at corn all day, because they're going through a season of testing and they can't take the fire. So they, instead of being refined and reproved and corrected by the fire, they get burned up. So the season of isolation on another level is like being put in a furnace when you are being refined. And while you are in this spiritual furnace, you're either going to be refined or you're going to get burned up. And some of you guys right now, I'm going to be honest, man, it's burning you up. You're drinking every day. You're losing your seed 4 or 5 times a week. I'm talking to you. I know you want to hear this. I'm talking to you. You're drinking all the time. You're smoking. You're chasing the wrong types of women, low vibration women, because you're not handling the fire properly. You're letting the fire burn you up. And we've all been there, by the way. This ain't no self-righteous talk. This is real. We've all been there. So your ability to deal with this properly, this, my friend, is what's going to either elevate you and promote you, simply put, help you level up, get that bag. May make it in plain English. I'm going to use plain English. Get that bag, get to that bag, get to the paper, get to the promotion, get to the influence and the power you want. It will be your ability to deal with this season properly. So while you are in isolation, let me encourage you, do not feel sorry for yourself. Do not give up. Get rid of those vices. Let me say that again. Get rid of all your vices. This is what you do in isolation. Because if you don't get rid of your vices now in isolation, it will look even worse when you're elevated. Let me say that again. If you do not deal with your vices now in isolation, it will be even worse when you are in elevation. In other words, if you're struggling privately, it's going to be 10 times worse when you're struggling publicly. You understand? So deal with those demons now, because when you go up high, them devils will come right with you and embarrass you in front of the whole world. Are you listening to me? So guys, this is just a word of wisdom on this Monday afternoon, day 25 of this 30-day series, which will end on Saturday. I think you guys have been enjoying this so far. I've got a lot of feedback and comments, emails, messages. Guys, thanks for listening. God bless. Peace.